Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. November is the off-season in Vermont. Some people call it stick season. The color is past, the skies are gray, the days are shorter and colder and darker. It's all a precursor to winter and to a day of thanks. Yes, Thanksgiving is ahead, and like most holidays, Chef Marco is looking forward to it. So for this month's recipe program, Marco is offering some Thanksgiving treats and what to do with the leftovers.
Hi, I'm Marco Ayala, and I'm here to share another recipe with all of you. Halloween has come and gone. It's already November. The leaves have fallen down from the trees. The temperatures are definitely dropping. So this is a time of the year that we start craving all these foods that are a little heartier. And of course, aside from the weather, it's also what I think of the start of the holiday season, because later this month, we're gonna have Thanksgiving. And from there, before we know it, Christmas is here, New Year, and the year is basically over. So, and it goes pretty fast if you ask me. However, what doesn't go fast is really the tradition of cooking something together for Thanksgiving. And I like using vegetables that are in season, and that's how I came up with the idea to make this easy butternut squash soup. And let me tell you, this is so fragrant. It's absolutely delicious, and believe it or not, there's very few ingredients here, but that doesn't compromise the taste. So let me tell you how to put it together. First, you're gonna take one medium onion and you're gonna cut it into wedges. Then you can either chop it or put it in the food processor like I did. In this case, I'm using this little crank food processor that is a lot of fun to use. However, make sure to not cut it too fine. Then you're gonna take 2 pounds cubed butternut squash. In some grocery stores, you can find butternut squash that has already been peeled and cubed for you, and that is a great alternative to use for this recipe. In a bowl, you're gonna combine the butternut squash, the chopped onion, 4 cloves garlic, and 2 tablespoons oil. Then you're gonna mix it well so all the ingredients are evenly coated. Then you're gonna transfer all your veggies onto a baking sheet, sprinkle with salt and pepper, and then you're gonna bake them at 425 degrees. So far, it looks like there's very few ingredients. However, there is one key ingredient in there that really makes this soup stand out, and that is apples. You want to add 2 apples to your roasting pan. However, here's something really important. You can use tart apples if you want your soup to have a little bit of a zing. If you like a sweeter soup that really complements the sweetness of the butternut squash, you can use sweet apples. In this case, I use 1 and 1 to give this recipe a little bit more depth. You're gonna roast your veggies for 35 to 40 minutes on the lower rack. Make sure to check them a couple times and toss them around a little bit. If some of the edges get a little brown, don't worry, that's where the flavor is. And once your vegetables are roasted, you're gonna remove them from the oven and you're gonna let them sit for a few minutes because this is going to allow them to caramelize, and it will also give you time to scrape some of those brown bits because, as I said, that's where all the flavor is. You're gonna transfer your roasted vegetables to a soup pot. Then you're gonna add 2 cups chicken broth, allow the mixture to simmer, and then using an immersion blender, you're gonna blend all the ingredients. Just be careful because this process can be a little messy. And if you don't have an immersion blender, no worries, because you can also transfer it to your blender. However, be careful because the mixture is gonna be hot And make sure to remove the top of the cover for the blender so the steam can come out. Make sure to add some spices. I added a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of paprika. And 1 cup heavy cream. Once the mixture is smooth, it's done. Just make sure to adjust the salt and pepper and add more liquid if needed. And that is it. Wasn't that easy to make? And I'm telling you, this soup is just absolutely delicious. Look at that. It's so silky. I wish you could smell it because it smells absolutely wonderful. So I think that this will make a great appetizer or a great first course for your Thanksgiving dinner. So I hope you give it a try. Also, you can also serve it for a party in little cups like that, like little shot glasses. But now let's move on to what to do with our leftovers. Because I'm not looking to reinvent the wheel. I think that everyone has like their own recipe that they like, that it brings you back to your childhood and to the family home. However, the one thing that we all have is a lot of leftovers, and there's only so much turkey that we can eat the same way. So I decided to make turkey tetrazzini with my leftovers, and I am telling you, this is absolutely delicious. I actually look forward to the leftovers because then I can turn them into this nice casserole. So let me tell you how to put it together. First, to a pot with hot water, you're gonna add 2 cloves garlic, an onion wedge, salt, and a little bit of oil. Let the water come to a boil, and then you're gonna add 7 ounces spaghetti, broken in half, and cook it until it's al dente. Once the pasta is cooked, drain it and set it aside. Then you're gonna slice about 2 cups fresh mushrooms, and you're gonna chop 1 small onion. Again, you can do it by hand or in your food processor. Then, in a skillet or the same pot that you were using for your pasta, you're gonna saute the mushrooms and onion with 2 tablespoons butter. Make sure to cook them until they're nice and tender. Then you're gonna add 1 can condensed cream of mushroom, 1 cup milk, 1/4 teaspoon poultry seasoning, and a little bit of mustard. Mix it well and let it simmer. Then you're gonna add 1 cup shredded cheddar cheese. Then, to a 9 by 13 inch pan, you're gonna add your spaghetti. Add about 2 cups cube cooked turkey from your leftovers. And then top it with the mushroom soup mixture. Add 1 cup shredded mozzarella cheese and sprinkle it with Parmesan cheese. Then you're gonna bake it uncovered at 350 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes or until heated through. And that is it. Isn't that easy? And you will not believe how good this is. And let me take a serving out here. So I really hope you give this a try. It's a great way to use those leftovers from Thanksgiving. And of course, as I always say, now let's move on to dessert because we all love a good dessert, right? I am very excited with this dessert because it is so cute. And honestly, it's actually very easy to make. Mostly because I'm taking a few shortcuts here to make these absolutely fun turkey cupcakes. Let me tell you how to put them together. First, you're gonna take 1 box yellow cake mix and follow the instructions in the box. In this case, it takes 1 cup water, half a cup vegetable oil, and 3 eggs. You are then going to mix it well, and in just a few steps, you already have the batter for your cupcakes. Then you're gonna add liners to a cupcake tray, and you're gonna fill them about half to 3/4 full. Bake them at 350 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted in the center of one of the cupcakes comes out clean. And here comes the fun part, which is decorating your cupcakes. In this case, we're using a few different kinds of candy. It's all in the assembly, and I think this is a great activity to do with the family, with the kids, because they come out so cute, and it's something that you're all going to really enjoy. And it's okay to take shortcuts. In fact, I also took a shortcut with the frosting. It's frosting out of a container. However, I don't know if you knew this, but the frosting from the container, you're supposed to take it out, put it into a mixing bowl, and then whip it with your hand mixer. Why is that? When you whip it, you're adding air to it, so it becomes very nice and fluffy. Trust me, you're gonna notice that it's much less dense than your regular frosting out of the can and directly onto the cake. Plus, it's also easier to handle. Then you're gonna frost all your cupcakes, and now we're gonna start decorating. Take 1 peanut butter cup, and with your leftover frosting, use it as glue to put the eyes, a piece of candy corn for the beak, and a little piece of gummy worm to give it the final touch so your peanut butter cup looks like a turkey. Place the peanut butter cup on top of your cupcake and add 4 small pretzels around it to make it look like the feathers of a turkey. And that is it. Isn't that a great way to decorate cupcakes? It's almost a little hard to decide to eat them. No, I'm kidding. I am so looking forward to eating these. And these are just 6 of the 12 cupcakes that this recipe makes. So there's plenty in there for all your family. So I really hope you give all of these recipes a try, because I think they're all really good. I think that you're going to enjoy them. I also want to remind all of you to subscribe to Across the Fence on social media so you can get all the latest updates of Across the Fence right on your phone or your computer. And on that note, I want to say that I'm very thankful for my family. I'm very thankful for my acquired family here in Vermont over the years, but I'm also very thankful for all of you viewers. So I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And from my kitchen to your kitchen, happy cooking.
Thanks, as always, to Chef Marco. And a reminder that you can find over a decade of our recipe archives by checking the Across the Fence website. And that's our program for today. Once again, thank you for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. Eat well and stay well.